Good morning, students. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. So today we're gonna discuss about exception handling. Okay. We'll wait for 2 more minutes. So after that, I'll start the session.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Okay, students. So good morning, all.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Okay. So in the last session, Sonia ma'am has already discussed about exception handling, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we just do a recap here. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So what do you mean by an exception? What do you mean by an exception? Any idea?
Sir, any unexpected event?
Yeah, correct. So we can define the exception as an abnormal condition that arises during the runtime. Okay. So in Java, we tell that exception as an object that gives a complete information about the exception. Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose if user did not handle the exception, that exception is known as uncaught exception. That exception is known as uncaught exception. And who will handle that exception?
JVM.
Yes, Java runtime system that is known as JVM. JVM will handle the exception. Okay. So what happens if JVM handles the exception? So in which line the exception has occurred, it stops the execution. The program will terminate automatically from that line. Further lines will not be executed, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So for that reason, the user should handle the exception. So I given a point here. Why to handle the exception? First, the reason why we have to handle the exception is we need to fix the errors. And since if in uncaught exception, the program will terminate automatically, to avoid that, the user should handle the exception. The main reason why we have to handle the exception is, one is to fix the error, other one is to prevent the automatic termination of the program. Any doubts? Have you understood this?
Yes,
Why we have to handle the exception? Okay. Now, how to handle the exception? How user can handle the exception is, we have to use 5 keywords. Very, very important topic. The 5 keywords of exception is try, catch, throw, throws, and finally. So now we'll see one by one. Now, what is the purpose of try try block is, now whichever the statements you feel that might throw an exception, whichever the statements we feel that might throw an exception, that statement should be put inside the try block. Okay, once the try block throws the exception, we have to write the catch handlers to handle that exception. The syntax says like this. So we have to write a try block here, try block. So the try block will hold the statements that might throw the exception. Okay, that statements we need to put inside the try block. Okay, for a try block, at least one catch block or one finally block should be there. So we will discuss later what is finally block. As of now, you understand, for a try block, at least how many catch blocks should be there?
One.
One. At least one catch block or one finally block should be there. There might be n number of catch blocks, but at least one catch block should be there for a try. Okay. Now we'll see a demo for this try catch block. So now I've taken one simple example here. So I'm just reading two values, A and B. I'm performing a division of A and B. So now, if B is 0, that might throw an exception. Yes?
No,
If
that
B is-
screen is not visible.
Okay, one second. Now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. Now I have taken one simple example here. I'm reading two values of A and B. I'm reading two values of what? A and B. Now I'm performing a division of A and B. If B is 0, it will throw an exception.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So it will throw an exception. What type of exception it will throw is, now have you come across, like last class ma'am has taught all this, right? Throwable is a,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, throwable is a base class for all the exception. We have two types of exception. One is checked, other one is unchecked exception. Checked exception is checked during the compile time itself. Checked exception is the exception which will be checked during what? Compile time exceptions. Whereas unchecked exceptions are known as runtime exceptions, which is checked during the runtime. Okay. To save a few, the runtime exceptions are arithmetic exceptions. For example, if you are doing division by 0, so all that will come under a subclass called arithmetic exception. Okay, so now we just recap the examples here. See here, if you perform division by 0, is the screen is visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you perform division by 0, it will throw arithmetic exception. So whereas null pointer exception is string s is null. If you are trying to retrieve the length of that string, where you don't have any input for that string, it is null. So it will throw null pointer exception. And number format exception, I given string s is equal to ABC. I'm trying to pass to integer. That time it will throw what? Number format exception. So all this we have discussed in the last class, right? So all this will come under runtime exception. Okay. So now when I perform a division, if the B is 0, what kind of exception it will throw? Arithmetic exception, isn't it? So which statement will throw that exception?
That C is equals to
A by B, right? That statement might throw the exception. I will put that statement in the try block. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So whichever the statements you might feel that might throw the exception, put that statement inside which block? Try block. Okay. So after writing a try block, we have to write the catch block for that. So the syntax of catch block is, your syntax for the catch block is catch. So you have to write which is the class name that exception it is throwing. For example, here, what is the class name here? What is the class name? Arithmetic exception, E. So now I'm just giving here system.out.println E. This object, as I said in the definition of Java exception is an object which will hold the complete information of the object. Okay, complete information of the exception it will hold. So now I written here catch arithmetic exception E. I'm just printing system.out.println E. Now I'll run this code. So now I'll just give the values of A as 4 and B as 0. Now you see java.lang.arithmetic exception division by 0. Yes. Suppose if you want to print only the reason, like what is the reason for this exception, you can give E dot, you have a method called message, get message method. This will give the reason for the exception. What is the exact reason for that exception can be retrieved by using E dot get message. Are you following this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now if I run this code, so again I'll just give the value of A as 4 and B as 0. Now see what's the reason? Division by 0 is the reason. So like this we can retrieve what is the reason for the exception. Any doubts in try and catch block? Have you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay. So this is your lab program also. This is third A lab program. The same program is your lab program. So we will not explain once again. So you should take this program. Okay? Fine.
Yes, sir.
Now, since this statement will throw arithmetic exception. Okay? Fine. Suppose I'll write one more statement here. I'll create one array. So what's the syntax of creating the array? Data type, array name,
is equal
square bracket is equals to new data type of
size, array size.
array size. I'll just give the array size as 5. Okay. Now, what is the starting index of an array?
0.
0. What if I give ARR of -1 is equal to 20?
Okay.
Can I give like this?
No.
Yes,
No,
sir.
is it?
Can-
So, but is this correct?
No.
No, right? Okay. So now I'll just run the code here. So now I'll just give the A value as 2 and B value as 1. Now you see, even though I've written a catch handler, still this error is uncaught. Can you see here? Exception in the thread main function java.lang.arrayIndex out of bounds exception. Yes? So for this, what we should write? So we have to go for a next concept, multiple catch handlers. So in a single piece of, in a try block, that might throw any type of exceptions, isn't it? In this example we have seen, if the B is 0, it will throw arithmetic exception. In the next line I have written ARR of -1, that will throw what type of exception? What type of exception it has thrown?
Array index out of bounds.
Yes, array index out of bound exception. So from this we came to know that the catch handler what we have written, if it is matching with that exception, then only it will handle. Okay. So if the try block will throw the exception, the respective catch handler should match with that exception type. Then only it will handle. If not, it will become what type of exception? It will become what type of exception? Yes, please answer. Yes, it will become what? Uncaught exception. Exception. Okay, fine. So for this reason, we have to go for multiple catch handler. So in some cases, students, can you please unmute yourself because my voice is listening twice. Okay, so hello. In some cases, more than one exception could be raised in a single piece of code. To handle this, we have to go for what? Multiple or more than one catch handlers. Yes? Okay. So now we'll see a demo for this. Yeah. In this, the same example I have taken here. So I've written in a try block. So I'm performing a division as well as I just created the array. Now here I might give -1 because the array index starts from 0. If you give less than 0, it has to throw an exception. Or if you give, what's the highest index you can give here?
5.
5? No.
4, sir.
4. Yeah, 4. 4 is our highest index I can give because the array index starts from what? 0.
0.
1, 2, 3, 4. The last index will be 4. So if you give more than 4 also, it has to throw what? Exception. Okay, for this reason, I have written here 2 catch handlers. Now, first catch handler is for what? Arithmetic exception for division by 0. You can give the reason is e.getMessage or simply you can give e. The next is one more catch handler I have written here, array index out of bound exception. Understood, right? Yes. So now I'll run this code. One second, sorry. Any doubts? Okay. Why it is coming like this? One second. So I'll just close all this. Yes. So I'll just give 2 and 0. Now what happens? Now which exception will be caught?
Division by 0.
Yes, division by 0 is caught. So even though you have one more exception here, ARR -1, it has stopped the execution in this line itself. It has thrown the exception to the catch handler. Understood, right? Suppose that statement is not throwing the exception. Let me give 2 and 2. Now you see. One second. We have got the exception right. Why it is throwing that? Okay. So let me give 2 space 2. It's coming like this. One second. Let me close this file. Sorry, students. Just a minute.
ये बोल तो अरे काय भी बोलना बोलता है
Hello students.
Third man.
Hello. Now can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now, so I just given the b value, a value as 5 and b value as 2. So now, will it throw arithmetic exception? Will it throw arithmetic exception? No. So now it will throw what exception?
Array index out of bounds.
So do we have a catch handler for this?
Yes.
Yes, we have a catch handler for this. So I'll run this code. Now you see the result is 2. The reason for the exception is array index out of bound exception. So like this, we will handle multiple exceptions. Multiple handler, by writing multiple catch handlers, we will handle multiple exceptions. Okay. And just a note for you people, this arithmetic exception will happen only for integers. Okay, it will not happen for suppose if it is for floating point number or double, it will give the answer as infinity. It will not throw the exception. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you perform division by 0 only for integers, it will throw the exception. For double or floating point value, it has implemented one algorithm where it has taken care for infinity, all that it has taken care for floating point numbers and double point numbers. So only for integers, it will throw arithmetic exception. So if you see, like for example, I'll just give here double or float. So I'll give here 0. I'll give here what? 0. Now I'm performing division by 0, right? It has to throw the exception, but it will give the answer as infinity. Understood, right? So floating point number and double point numbers has implemented one algorithm where it will take care of the division by 0. So only it is not possible in integer. That's why it will throw the exception. Okay, fine. Next is now, yeah.
Like one catch handler cannot handle multiple exceptions.
Yeah. That is the next topic. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, see, now the try block has thrown two type of exceptions, isn't it? So if b is 0, it has thrown arithmetic exception. If ARR of -1 or more than the index, if you give, it will throw array index of bound exception. Suppose what if I write string s is equals to null. For example, here I'll just write string s is equals to null in this line. For example, string s equal to null. Okay, so then I'll just try to print s dot length. So now what happens? It will throw what exception?
Null pointer exception.
Isn't it? So now I have written two catch handlers. So you should write one more catch handler for this. Yes or no? To handle this, we should write one more catch handler.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, since we are human beings, to remember all these subclass names, arithmetic exception, array index out of bound exception, it's very difficult, right?
Yes, sir.
For this reason, what we can do is we can write one catch handler. Students, am I audible to you people?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we should write one catch handler where it will handle any type of exceptions. Okay, so if you see this figure here, can you see for all these exceptions, who is a superclass? Exception is a superclass. Okay, in the catch handler, instead of writing arithmetic exception or array index out of bound exception, simply we can write what? Exception. It will handle any type of exceptions. Understood, right? So like this, we can avoid multiple catch handlers. Okay, same example I have taken here. So instead of writing multiple catch, we can write only one catch handlers where it will catch any type of exceptions. See a try block, the same example I have written here. I'm performing the division. So instead of writing multiple catch handlers, I've written what? Only one catch handler that will handle any type of exceptions. Okay, so we'll run this code now. So it is throwing what exception?
Arithmetic.
Why? Because the b is what? I given b is what? 0.
Zero.
So instead of b giving 0 here, I'll just give 2. Now it will throw what exception? Now it will throw what exception? See the line in the try block?
Array of out of bound.
Index out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I write a catch handler for that? No.
No, sir. We just.
I've written a general class.
Yeah.
So we'll see now whether that exception is handled or not. Now see here, array index out of bound exception is handled. Okay, understood, right? So by writing one catch handlers, we can handle any type of exceptions. Suppose you want to handle a particular exception, like arithmetic exception, you should handle in a different way. So we can write a catch handler for that before writing this superclass catch. So I'll repeat once again. Suppose you want to handle some type of exceptions in a different way. For example, for your understanding purpose, I'll just write here. I'm just giving system.out.println e. It will print a complete information. Suppose for arithmetic exception, you want to display only the reason for that exception. That time, what we should do here is we have to write. First, we have to mention its subclasses. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you able to see this point? To handle all type of exceptions, you can write the superclass exception object. Only one catch handler you can write. So if you want to handle some particular classes in a different way, first we have to mention their subclasses. Then we have to mention the superclass exception. For example, here I have written one catch handler. Before this, I should write the its derived class handlers. If not, it will throw an error. For example, I'll write after this catch, I'll write catch. I'll write here arithmetic exception, ARITH, arithmetic. I'll just write after this. I'll just write catch arithmetic exception. E. Now you get an error. Why it will get an error? Because why? Can anyone tell why you are getting an error? Why it is throwing an error? Because already this exception catch is handled that exception, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Already this catch exception is handled that arithmetic exception. It will handle any type of exception. This catch will become what catch? Waste. See, you can see the error here. Exception, arithmetic exception has already been caught. This catch will become what? Waste. Suppose if you want to handle this arithmetic exception in a different way, like you want to display some other message, like you want to display some message here. Before this superclass, write this catch block. Now you see you're not getting an error. Now if I print, for example, reason is, so I'll just write here e dot get message. See, only for arithmetic exception, it will give the message. For remaining all the exception, it will throw what? It will simply give the complete information. Understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts here? Okay. So like, yeah. Yes. What's your doubt? Hello. Can I go to the next topic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, any doubts here? Multiple catch handlers and handling all type of exceptions? Harish, hope now I cleared your doubt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. The next topic is...
Sir, Hasib is having some doubt. Sir,
Yes. Yeah. What's the doubt, ma'am?
Hasib.
Yeah.
He's raising his hand for a long time. You just asked what his doubt.
Yes, Hasib, what's your doubt? Hasibullah Khan. Yes, what's the doubt? Hasib, are you here? Okay, so I'll continue with the next topic. Next topic is, am I audible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next topic is nested try. So as we have seen, nested if, nested for, nested switch. So like that, even we can nest the try. Okay. So what happens in the nested try is, as the try enters the loop, the try will go to the stack. For example, now here I have written one try. Inside this try, I have written one more try block. This try block will go to the stack. So stack works in what fashion?
First in, last out.
First in, last out. Okay. So this try will go to the stack. And again, this try will go on top of the stack. Isn't it? Okay. Suppose if this try, the innermost try, doesn't have a catch handler, if the innermost try doesn't have a catch handler, that try will be removed from the stack and the control will be given to the next try. Okay, so now we'll see a demo for this. You'll understand. Now I've written one try block, int a equal to 2, b equal to 0. So I've written one more try block here. Here, what type of exception it will throw now?
Array index out of 4.
So now for this try, I have written the catch block, array index out of bound exception. It will handle it. So let me run this code. Okay. So after this try catch block, what is the statement I have written?
C is equal
C
to
equal
A by
to A
Now
by
what is the value of b?
0.
0. Now what exception it will throw?
arithmetic.
For this, what is the catch block here? Can you see the catch block here?
Yes.
Yes. So now we got how many exceptions here? Two exceptions, isn't it? So I'll run this code. See, array index out of bound exception we have got, as well as we have got what? Arithmetic exception. Okay. Suppose for this innermost try, we don't have a catch handler for this. So I'll write instead of array index out of bound exception, I'll write null exception, null pointer exception. So I'll write what exception here? Null pointer exception. Now what happens for this try block? We don't have its catch handler, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
When we don't have when we don't have a catch handler, what happens is the inner stack, this is removed. This is removed from the stack, it goes for its outermost try block. It will propagate to outermost try block. Now it will check for its catch. In here it will check for this outermost catch. Are you following this? Yes. So now I'll just run this code. Now you see, we don't had a catch handler for it. Now what happened? It has propagated to its outermost try catch block. Okay. So this will continue until a respective catch is matched. If it is not, here also if it is not matched, what happens? Suppose here I'll write arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. Now what happens? So as I said, the innermost try, if it is not matching with this innermost catch, it will propagate to the outermost try. Now in this also, we don't have a proper catch handler for it. Now what happens? It will become what type of exception? Please answer. Am I audible to you people?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now it will become what type of exception?
Uncaught exception.
Very good. It will become what type of exception it is? Uncaught exception. So hope you have understood nested try. So try statement can be nested. So each try statement is entered into what? Is pushed to the stack.
Sir,
Yes?
for innermost try, we should compulsory have this catch handler, sir,
Yeah.
of the same type.
Of the same type. Or we can write any catch block.
Okay.
Does it mean that?
Also write exception also. Instead of
You can write exception there. What I mean to say is, if it is not handled, innermost try doesn't have a catch handler for it. That time what happens? See
go
this
to
point? Yeah, if inner try doesn't have a catch handler for a particular exception, the stack will pop out. That try is popped out, and it will go for search for the next try catch.
okay, that is the topmost, which is
Topmost, yeah. For that, which is a topmost, it will go there. So this is known as propagating the exception. Understood, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah. So now when it will continue until it matches with the exception catch, particular catch. If it is matching, it will stop. If it is not matching, if none of the catch handlers is matching, it will become what?
Uncaught.
Yeah. If no catch statement matches, what happens?
Uncaught.
Yeah, it will become uncaught. Who will handle it?
JVM.
JVM will handle. If no catch statement matches, it become uncatch exception. That will be handled by the default handler JVM, Java Runtime System, that is known as JVM. Understood, right? Nested
Yes,
try.
sir.
Any doubts? Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so suppose the inner try doesn't have a catch or it does not catch,
Yeah.
Then- it'll go to the next try in the stack.
Yeah.
There is an error in the inner try. The program not get terminated, so because it's not caught.
It's not caught. It will propagate.
So it'll not terminate the program.
It will not terminate a program. The execution will stop in that try statement. It will propagate to the outer try, outer catch. It will not
So-
terminate.
Okay, only if all the tries are not
Yes.
all the not
All-
caught.
Yes. If all the tries are examined, all the tries, outer tries, every try is examined. If none of the catch handler matches with that exception, that time it will become unhandled exception or uncaught exception. That time the JVM will handle it.
Okay.
Understood.
Otherwise, inner tries exceptions will just remain in the program.
Yeah. It will simply it will throw to the catch handler. If it is not matching, that will be thrown to the outermost catch. It will be keep on throwing.
Okay.
Keep on throwing. It's like keep on throwing. It's nothing but propagating until it matches.
Okay.
Okay. So once if it matches, it will stop. if it is not matching, if none of the things are matching, if all the, can you see one point here I have written here, this continues until one catch is matched or try statement is exhausted. If all the try statement is exhausted, that time the JVM will handle this exception.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So till now I was discussing like the runtime was throwing the exception, isn't it? Based on our input, the runtime was throwing the exception. So what if the user wants to throw the exception? Are you getting it? Till now, whatever the example we have discussed, the runtime, the Java runtime was throwing the exception, isn't it? For example, division by 0, array index out of bound exception. Suppose you are an application developer. Okay. For certain inputs, you have to terminate the program. So if the user wants to throw the exception, we need to go for a keyword called throw keyword. Okay, we have to go for what? A keyword called throw keyword. Okay, so throw is used to explicitly throw the exception. User can explicitly throw the exception. Okay, based on this application, the user can throw the application. Okay, understood, right? The syntax for that is we have to use throw keyword and we have to create one object, because exception is nothing but what? It's an object, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Of what type? Throwable, isn't it? The base class for all the exceptions, errors and exceptions is what? Throwable. So when you are throwing the exception, we have to throw the object that should be of type throwable or subclass. It might be a subclass of throwable. Okay, it might be arithmetic exception, subclasses like array index out of bound exception, null pointer exception, or some other exceptions we'll see in the demo. Okay, so understood, right? What do you mean by throw keyword?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now we'll see a demo for that throw keyword here. Now I have taken one example. I have taken one method. Can everyone see this method?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so in this method, so I have written one method called check to check whether D is in the proper range or not, whether D, month and year is D and month, whether it is in proper range or not. So if D is less than 1, correct? If D is less than 1, it is invalid date, or if D is greater than what? 31 also is what? Invalid.
Invalid.
If month is less than 0 also is invalid. So less than 1 is invalid. Month is greater than 0 is also what? Invalid, right? So can you see this line? So this is the way where the user can explicitly throw the exception. The syntax says like this: throw, we have to throw the object. How do you create the object? By using what keyword?
New.
New keyword. Throw new. I'm throwing one exception called illegal argument exception. I'm throwing what exception? Illegal argument exception. In the parameter, you can give what message you want to give. Like suppose like it is invalid input. See, I'll just remove this. First, we have to use throw keyword. We have to throw the object. Okay. So what type of exception you want to throw? That object has to be thrown. So throw new. So I'll write illegal argument exception, and in the parameter, like what message you want to print, like reason. For arithmetic exception, we got the reason as division by 0, right? So here I'm just giving some reason, like what reason you want to give. Suppose I want to give here invalid input. I'll just give here what? Invalid input. That message can be retrieved by giving e.get message. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So if not, so I'm writing what? If it is in the proper range, I'm just printing as what? Valid date. So for this try, I have written one catch handler. So exception catch inside the check method. So I'm just printing system.out.println. Any doubts here? Understood how to throw how to throw the exception explicitly?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So in the main method, I'm just calling that method called check method. I'm passing 7. I'll just give 7/4/2020. Is this a valid date?
Yes.
Yes.
Is this a valid date? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So I'll run the code. Yeah, you just get the output as valid date. Suppose I'll just give 14 here. Is this a valid date?
No.
No. So now if I run this, so exception caught inside the check block. So what is the exception?
Illegal argument.
Yeah, illegal argument exception. It is invalid input. Suppose if you want to retrieve the message, am I audible? Is
Yes,
my
sir.
voice is breaking? No, right? My voice is not breaking, right? Okay. So if I want to print a message, so e dot what? Get message. So I'll run the code now. Now see here, what is the message? What's the reason?
Valid input.
Invalid input. Okay. So you can throw the exception inside the catch block also. You can throw the exception inside the catch block also. Suppose if I give throw e, that same object I'll throw here. Are you following this?
Yes, sir.
We can throw the object inside the catch block also. So if I throw this, now what happens? Please relate with the nested try. Now when I'm throwing it, do you have a catch handler for this? I'm throwing this. Now, if you don't, now this method is throwing the exception to the caller. The method is throwing the exception to whom? To the caller. Now, caller should handle this exception. Here, who is the caller here? Who is the caller?
Main program.
Yeah, main. Main should handle it. If main is not handling, it will become what type of exception? Uncaught exception. So I'll just run this code. So it is exception caught inside the check block. Invalid input. Yeah, it is caught in the method. Again, I'm throwing it. Now caller did not handle it. Can you see here? Can you see this? The main method did not handle this. So for this, what you should write? For this, what you should write? Here, should I write once again the try and catch block?
Yes.
So I'll write catch. I'll write so like I'll just write a general class exception e. So I'll write here recaught. Isn't it again recaught, right? It is caught. It is thrown. Again, I'm recaughting that exception. I'll just write here e. Now I'll run the code. Am I fast? No, right?
No, sir.
Okay, so I'll run this code. See here, again it is caught. Understood, right? What is the purpose of throw keyword?
Yes, sir.
So, what is the purpose of throw keyword? By using throw, user can explicitly what? Tell me what?
An exception.
Yes, user can explicitly throw the exception by using the throw keyword. So before this example, whatever the examples we have seen, who was throwing the exception? Who was throwing the exception for us? Runtime.
Runtime.
Java runtime was throwing the exception. JVM or nothing but Java runtime system was throwing the exception. If user wants to throw explicitly, we have to use what keyword?
Throw keyword.
We have to use throw keyword. Okay, fine. So any doubts still here?
So I have a doubt.
Yeah.
This illegal argument exception is user defined, sir.
No. It is a built-in exception. The purpose of it is illegal argument exception is a runtime exception. Okay. So illegal argument exception, it is used like whenever we are invoking a method. Whenever we are invoking a method, suppose that object has that rights or not.
Any
Okay,
method.
now for example, here I written throw demo, class throw demo. I have written a class throw demo. Now this check thing that it is non-static method. Okay. Now by using which object I can access this throw demo? Sorry, check method. Sorry. By using which object?
Throw demo
Object, isn't it? So can I access by using any other object?
No.
So that time it will throw an error, isn't it? Illegal argument exception. So that's the meaning of illegal argument exception, where to invoke a method, whether we are using a proper object or not. Did you get it? Illegal argument exception.
Okay, sir.
So we have to use a proper object to call that particular method. If not, it
Anything other than that, no, sir?
yeah, yes. So that time it will throw illegal argument exception. Understood, right? Yes.
So we will throw the exceptions which are there in that exception class only, sir.
Yeah.
That's
Like
another way we can.
we have a concept called user can define its own exception.
Oh, we can. Okay.
User can create his own exceptions. That I will discuss in the next class.
Okay. Sir.
Creating our own exceptions.
Okay.
So what are the steps? Okay. So as of now, I'll be using only the built-in exceptions.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is the purpose of throw keyword. Okay. Next we'll go for next keyword, throws keyword. Okay. Now here in this demo, in this program, is the check method is handling the exception? Hello, students. Is the check method is handling the exception? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'll repeat the question. Is the check method is handling the exception?
Yeah.
If I write try and catch block, it is handling the exception. Suppose this method is not handling the exception. This method is not handling the exception. It will not write try and catch block. It is not at all handling. It will throw the exception. Who should handle?
JVM.
JVM or caller? I'll repeat. Now, this method is not handling the exception. It is throwing the exception. Who should handle this exception now? The caller, isn't it? It will propagate to the caller, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. It will tell the caller to handle. That time, the method should tell what kind of exceptions that might throw. Okay. I'll repeat once again, or I'll just show this PPT point here. If a method causing an exception and does not handle it, it should inform to the caller of the method to handle the exception. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
How to indicate? Like to indicate that what kind of exceptions that method will cause, we have to indicate by using the throws keyword. Okay, we have to indicate by using what? Throws keyword. Okay, so the syntax says like this. As usual, you'll write the method, right? You'll declare a method, return type, method name, parameter list. After that, we have to write what keyword? Can you see here after this what we should write here? Throws keyword and followed by the exception list. What kind of exception it will throw. So for a demo, we'll just see here like see. So I've written one same method, static void check I throws illegal access exception. Here, can you see in this method, did I write try and catch?
No.
No, right? Now method is handling the exception? No. Isn't it? The method is not handling the exception. It is telling to whom? It is telling to whom?
Caller.
The caller.
Caller to handle, isn't it? Yes. So now method is telling what kind of exceptions it is throwing by using a keyword called throws. Throws followed by the exception list. I have written only one exception here. In the next demo, we'll see a list of exceptions by using throws keyword. Okay. So I've used here illegal access exception. The purpose of illegal access exception is name itself indicates a particular class has a rights to access that method or not, or variable or not. Are you getting it? If a class has a rights, then it will not throw this exception. If the class doesn't have rights to access that method, it will throw illegal access exception. Okay, this syntax we have seen right by using throw keyword. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So now who should handle this exception?
Caller.
Caller. See here, in the caller, I have written try and catch. So here you can write illegal access exception or simply you can write exception.
Exception.
Simply we can write exception. I'll just remove this. I'll just write here, simply I'll write the exception. Okay, fine. So now I'll run this code. 1 second. Sorry, why I'm getting this error, I don't know. 1 second. Couldn't load up. Okay. So I'll copy and paste this code. Okay, or else I'll just close all this. Okay. Fine. Just a minute, students. Throws demo, right? I'll just copy all this. So I'll run here. Now you see illegal access input you got? Yes or no? Yeah. So like this, we can tell the caller, the method can tell to the caller what type of exception it will throw by using what? Throws keyword. Understood, right? Now I'll come for the throw demo, the same example. Now what I'll do here is I will remove all this try catch. I'll remove this what? Try catch. Okay. Now now this method is handling the exception or not? It's not handling the exception,
No,
isn't it?
it's not handling. Yes, sir.
It should indicate to the caller, right?
Yes, sir.
Since it is not indicating to the caller, I should get the error. Yes, I should get the error, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes, sir.
But I'm not getting the error here. Okay, why? Because we have to indicate only checked exception. We have to indicate only the checked exception. Now you can see here throws. Can you see this point? This is necessary for all exceptions except those of runtime exceptions. Okay, so we have to indicate if it is checked exception. Okay, if it is runtime exception, no need to indicate. Suppose if it is throwing an arithmetic exception, should I indicate that?
No, sir.
No, because arithmetic exception is what type of exception?
Runtime.
Runtime exception.
Runtime.
Okay, so I'll just list out a few checked exceptions. For example, IO exception is a checked exception. Class not found exception is a checked exception. File not found is a checked exception. So if you are throwing this kind of checked exception, that time we have to indicate using what? That time we have to indicate using what? Yes, students, tell me. That time we have to indicate using throws. See here, you can see here also one more demo. This I'll explain later. Like you can see here, throws file not found exception, comma IO exception. Can you see a list of exceptions this read will throw? Okay, so all that should be indicated by using what? Throws keyword. Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'll stop here. So in the next class, we will discuss the further topics. So I'll just give a quick like a recall what all we have discussed. So today we have discussed what is the purpose of handling the exception. So what is the purpose of handling the exception? Can anyone tell what is the purpose of handling the exception?
To fix the error.
To fix the error.
And to prevent
Yes.
automatic termination of the program.
Yes, automatic termination of the program. Correct. Okay. So then we have seen keywords. What are the keywords used to handle the exception? In that we have discussed try, catch, throw, throws. So finally, I'll discuss in the next class. So what's the purpose of try? What's the purpose of try?
Suppose we feel that any statement is gonna give us an exception, we wanna fit it in that try block.
Yes, any statements that might throw the exception, put that in the try block. Okay, catch to handle the exception. So then we have discussed multiple catch handlers and a single catch to handle all type of exceptions, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So then we have discussed about throw keyword. So throw is used to
Manually,
explicitly user can throw the exception. Yeah, and throws, the method is not handling the exception. It should indicate the caller to handle the exception by using what?
throws keyword.
Throws keyword. Okay. Yeah, if you have any doubts, can ask now. We have 7 minutes.
So for keywords, sir, if I put throws.
Okay.
If I put throws in the main method, then who will handle that exception, sir?
So if I put throws in the main method, so obviously we don't have a code. We don't have a code to catch it. Obviously, who will call the main method? JVM. Correct. JVM only will handle. Because
the program will terminate.
Yeah, that time the program will terminate. After handling, the program will terminate.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So that time, if you write throws in the main method, obviously the JVM will handle it. Okay. Any other doubts? So no doubts? Can we wind up the session?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.